Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the program on the channel. People who reach middle age do not have anger. Not making friends with 3 people. People who are over the age of 40 have a deep sense of meaning. There is also sadness at the same time. Love and hate. It's the sadness of middle age. That's why I said by middle age. There are 3 things you shouldn't have. 3 types you shouldn't end over the years. People have grown up. We all want to have a friend. Heart to heart living in this world. We can endure suffering and hunger. But if you don't have a friend, there is no soulmate. Maybe the world is too lonely and boring. Then there was only cold sadness in my life. Life needs friends. But the opposite, not every type of friend can relate. People who are over the age of 40 have a deep sense of meaning. There is also sadness at the same time. Love and hate. It's the sadness of middle age. There is hatred due to feeling. After making friends with some people, there is hatred because of the memory of loving the wrong person. It is a pity to be away from loved ones. There is hatred that comes from recognizing a mistake. That's why I said by middle age. There are 3 things you shouldn't have. 3 types of people you should not hate. Should not be born and not born of remorse. We go from small to big. There is often a kind of hatred. It's become a habit of not knowing yourself. It's like feeling that an AI doesn't have eye contact. There's a kind of capture. Assume that the person who has a relationship with that person. It's not good. This is the kind of regret we talk about. Maybe the middle-aged. I've been through the storms of my life. So you can be aware of the morality. Meeting the discussion. Meet people who discuss. From there you can open your heart. Let's get rid of the habit of anger. Because they have nothing to do with us. 2. Not born with hatred. Sometimes at work. Clearly. It's clearly our chance. It was taken away by a colleague. Because of these things, many people are born hating their whole lives. Enemies for a whole life. The result of it is also quiet and passes in a lifetime. For this hatred, let us not let it be born. Find the cause in yourself. Middle-aged people, if you can build a good relationship. For those who took their chances. Be a good friend, a good colleague. It's even becoming a synchrony. He is truly a wise man. And if we hold grudges, maybe you don't have a chance to rise in your whole life. Who treats you evil? Try the opposite. Treat them well. Open up to them. Learn to love and be generous to everyone. Then we'll find out that life is happier than we think. BA does not hate death. Many children grow up in special circumstances. Cute personality doing things that are against the moral law. Like yelling at my mom. There are many middle-aged people. Hate your children to the bone. Even from face to face. With the rise of the internet, bad habits from which are increased. More and more children are committing crimes. It's a generational grudge. These problems, whether we admit it or not, much of the fault lies with the parents. Or because of busy work. There is no time to teach children. Or because of discord, lack of understanding between parents and children. It causes the children's emotional hearts to freeze. So this generation's hatred, it can't be solved by saying it's done. We need to focus on filling that void. Change your children to listen to their thoughts. The heart of your aspirations. If so, between 2 new generations of understanding each other, this is what we should do. When the children are grown, they will understand the suffering of their parents. And extreme thinking will reveal more to you. The 3 types you don't associate immediately after a troublesome friend. It's the people who are always at the bar. Long-term entertainment card born, meaning become close friends of each other. But also from there, a lot of trouble born. It's related to these people. Sometimes they link up to eat your money. It's time to find out. It is also when your money is gone. There are even cases of loss of home. Because of my dear friends. As a result, you're caught in the loop. The trouble has no end. Reputation no longer miserable. Family, wife, miserable children. The state of remorse dissipates endlessly, so it's best to stay away from these people. 2. You are resentful. A person who blames others. For these people, it's been a habit of theirs. Associate with these people today, denigrate this person tomorrow, to criticize others. I finally don't know. You've always been a slacker yourself. 'Cause market fi, it's hard to leave at that point. Everyone already knows. What will the end be for those who like to gossip? People from friends, relatives, leaders, colleagues, everyone is distant. The future of your career is affected. So it's middle age. Pay special attention to this type of friend. BA friends for fame in middle age. Remember it. I don't associate with bad people. To take advantage of myself with those who do their own harm. No matter where you are, the first thing they consider. It's in my own interest. Sometimes to achieve a goal, They're willing to do bad things. When I meet these people, stop quickly. Don't go any further. If you have to communicate back and forth, you need to keep a certain distance. To middle-aged people have just reached the ripe age of life, there's just a wealth of life experience. However, in the cycle of this messy life sometimes there are hateful sheep. The fame of the enemy, it also makes people wobble and get lost. So be wise enough to see through. Quiet enough to let go of resentments and troubles not worth it. I can do that. This life, it's that we've had a piece of it. And then the next weird thought invites you. When times are bad, remember these three things. Luck is not invited. In the long journey of life will not escape unexpected difficulties. Some people are afraid when faced with adversity. Giving up is even resentment. But some people face it calmly and calmly. They've opened a new page. Right in his own adversity when things go wrong in life. Remember these three sentences. Luck will not invite you. So when you encounter things that don't go your way in life, remember these three sentences. A rainbow after the rain. Light at the end of the tunnel. They all have a solution. In the rush of life, people's emotions are also in a hurry. But there are also some people who are very introverted and weak. When under pressure, in this incredibly volatile environment, it's easy for people like that to go to extremes. Or be reborn again in difficulty, pain, and challenge. Or will go to despair until completely submerged. In adversity, everyone has only one life. Thinking about change is not negative. Not helpless, it's the wise choice of the wise. Everything comes to an end. When we've gone through the longest difficulties, the darkest, the best tomorrow will come. If we dare to overcome difficulties, dare to change your own mind, the rainbow will appear after the rain. 2. Even in the face of extreme adversity, no need to be angry anywhere. Life is not as it seems. 10 things happen. 9 things don't go well. Things are not as expected. There is too much waiting in life. Of course, it will also affect our mood more or less. But in the end, what happens is that we decide. Because what kind of mental state do you use to face the problem? It will produce results like that. Fate is 2 sweet excuses for the weak. But these are the 2 humble words of the strong. Successful people find methods. Losers find reasons. Not complaining about others. It'll calm everyone down. When the mind is clear, it's easy to find a solution. The opposite if we just complain blindly, even if the matter is finally resolved. But it's going to have a negative impact. For the people around or for ourselves. It's going to kill people's confidence. It hurts the spirit of the team. When you're in trouble, our first reaction should not be to complain. Or angry, but need to calm down, find out everything thoroughly, then come up with a solution. When faced with unpleasant things in life, you need to learn how to control your anger. Optimistic psychological correction for when you face everything. You can have a happy life. The 3 impermanent worlds are hard to avoid. Dissatisfaction. Calmly waiting is best. The world is impermanent. When things are unpredictable and impossible. In life, we need to stay calm. To see how things change. And waiting for a chance to turn the tide when something can be handled. People who are in a difficult situation can actively solve it. But every action needs careful thought. Before making a decision, remember these 3 sentences. It seems to be Kim pointing Nam help us, they can solve difficulties in life. Not only that, luck will not invite you. Next post, I'd like to offer you a lesson for the AI with no money. No sex. Lesson number 1. There used to be a monk and a butcher. They're 2 best friends. Monks had to get up early every day. You sell meat. You had to get up early every day to eat pork. So that not being up late interferes with work they promised. Wake up together every morning and wake up. Many years later, the monk and the butcher died. You can sell meat to heaven. The monk was sent to hell. Meaning in Sao, because the butcher does good every day. Call the monk to recite the sutras and the monk. Call me a butcher every day. The things you do that you might think are right. But I'm not sure. Lesson number 2. A father tells his son, I want to find you a wife. The boy said, but I want to find it myself. The father said, but this girl is Bill Gates' daughter. The boy replied, if that's the case. Then the father went to Bill Gates and said, I'm looking for a husband for your daughter. But Bill Gates said, no. My daughter's still young. The father replied, but this guy's a vice president of the World Bank. Bill Gates saw that and said that. Then the father went to the president of the World Bank and said, I'd recommend you a vice president. The president said, but I've had a lot of vice presidents. Don't need no more. The father said, but this guy is Bill Gates' son-in-law. You see, the president said that. meaning in the marketplace. The business is done. Like that lesson number B. A leisurely eagle enjoy yourself on the high tree. When a rabbit saw that, he asked the eagle, I can like you sitting not like that. Without having to do anything. Eagle can answer, why not? So the baby rabbit sat on the ground right at the eagle's feet. Suddenly a fox appeared. He grabbed the rabbit and ate it. Meaning so if you want to sit around and do nothing, you need to sit at a very high level. Lesson number 4. There's a bird flying south to escape the cold. Because it's so cold so it froze and fell into a wild field. When lying in the wilderness the bird was passed by a cow. And put a lot of shit on you. The bird is frozen. Lie in the dung and start to feel warmer. The cow's manure actually made it warm again. And it's in a warm pile of shit. I felt excited and started singing. Suddenly, a cat passed by and heard the birds singing and ran to investigate. Follow the song. He found the bird lying in the dung pile. Then quickly pull the bird out. And making meaning it's not just anyone. Your friends are all your enemies. It's not AI pulling you out of the dung pile. Is also your friend when you're stuck in a pile of shit. It's best to keep your mouth shut. Lesson number of years. A husband is preparing clothes to take a shower as soon as the wife finished bathing. The doorbell suddenly rang. The wife quickly wrapped herself in a towel and run out and opened the door. When she opened the door, she saw her neighbor standing there. The wife could not open. The neighbor said, if you put a towel in front of me, I'll give you 30.000.000. Think for a moment. Then the wife took off the towel in front of the neighbor. Right after that, the neighbor gave her 30 million and left. The wife put her towel back in and went into the house. As soon as you're ready to go to the bathroom, the husband asked, who's that? The wife replied, is he talking about paying you 30 million? Meaning in the marketplace. If shared in time, important information to the shareholders. Middle boat. It will avoid unnecessary exposure. Lesson number 6. A salesperson with their secretaries and directors out for lunch suddenly discovered an ancient oil lamp. They threw the oil lamp and the genie appeared. The genie said, I can meet you. Everyone has a wish. I was before me. The secretary said, I want to go to the Bahamas. To drive a speedboat and escape. It's my turn. The salesman said, I want to go to Hawaii. It's on the beach with its own masseuse. Have a free cocktail with someone I love. In an instant, the salesman disappeared. It was the genie's turn to tell the director. The director replied, I want those two idiots to finish their meal. Get back to work. That's what it means. Let your boss speak first. No matter the circumstances. Lesson number 7. On a stormy night, you drive your car through a bus stop and I saw 3 people who were worried, waiting impatiently for the car. An old man is dying. That's the guy who needs to be rushed to the hospital. One is a doctor. Saved your life and dreamt. You also expect to be rewarded. The other is the woman who lies down, dreaming you want to marry her too. And if you miss this opportunity there will be no more chance. But your car can only carry one more person. How would you choose? That's the guy you should save first. But you still want to take the Kia doctor because he saved you. And this is a good opportunity to pay back. And the lover of your dreams. Miss this opportunity you won't be able to meet any girls. That makes your heart flutter. This interview question was asked by the recruiter. And only 1 out of 200 applicants came in for an interview. To be recruited he didn't explain his reasons. It's as simple as this. Give your car keys to the doctor. Let him take the old man to the hospital. I'm going to wait for the car with the girl I love. Meaning maybe the problem lies in we never think. We will give up what we have and have. Car keys. Sometimes we let go of our notions of narrowness. We will get more in return. What we have. Lesson number 8. When people were still barefoot, a king goes to a faraway land. Because the road is rough. And there were small pieces of broken rock poking at my feet. He's both hurt and numb. Right after returning to the palace, he ordered the governor, all the way in the kingdom. He thinks he's not doing it just for himself, but also for the blessing of the Gentile. Let their people. I can no longer stand being hit by a rock. But even if you kill all the buffalo in the kingdom there's not enough to cover all the roads. That money and energy spent a lot. To the point where it's impossible to count. Even though this is impossible. Even stupid. But the king's order gave raw. They just shake their heads. This one is smart. He made an offer to the king. He said, the king, why do people mobilize their forces? Sacrificed so many buffalo and gold and silver, why don't you put a little skin on your feet? Yeah, the king was surprised to hear that. But also understand things and take back orders. Apply the opinion of the servant. It's not easy to change the world. If you want to change the version, the body is not a problem. Instead of wasting our energy trying to change something you can't do or change what you can. This is like choosing use 2 small pieces of skin to cover your feet. It's better than killing all the cattle to cover the road. When you change yourself, the world will change accordingly. If you want to see the world change, the first thing you need to do, it's about changing yourself. 9 types of foolish people, but it's actually the smartest. In my life, every AI person also has a lot of options. In front of every choice, we're wondering which one is right. Here are 9 things you need to remember. Not to make too many mistakes in life. I'd rather pretend to be stupid than think I'm smart. In life, objective things are too complicated, and it's changing too fast. No matter what your intelligence level is, then it's also very difficult to understand a problem correctly. What we know is too small, compared to the vast sea of reality. So if you bring your current knowledge to the table, problem consciousness, then in an instant, it's transformed. Even this transformation is relentless. In fact, it also shows that no one wants to be friends with people who are always alone. Let me be smart, so keep your attitude of humility. Courage. I am a fool before the Creator. 2. It is better not to boast of being poor, as the old saying goes. Getting rich often has no virtue. This situation is real, especially in the current period. The old people get rich legally, so they just hope that the life of the dress doesn't have to worry. That's enough. If someone who admires you gets close to you because you're rich, the scourge is not far from you. Don't blindly compete. The loss will be more than the gain. I would rather lose gloriously. Don't just win forever, especially in terms of debate. Not necessary. You know how to fake a loss to keep the good of both parties. It's a letting go who understands morality. 4. It is better to suffer than to take a small gain. Most people are interested. Everyone wants to take advantage. But I don't want to suffer even a little. You must know that the damage is blessed. Of course, we must distinguish between suffering and being cheated. Even if you are cheated, don't worry. Trust the laws of nature and society. You don't have to think about revenge. I would rather work hard than desire pleasure. Because the desire for pleasure gives birth to all kinds of magic. Ghosts, will they eat away at your spirit? It can be hard. Only through suffering can we exercise our will. 6. Would rather be a normal person. Don't buy your reputation. Something that not many people notice. It is normal to be happy. Buy name fraud. It will make your body and soul tired, causing trouble and sowing storm reaping winds. 7. It is better to be confident and not be blindly pessimistic. Self-confidence is a kind of power. Even if your confidence is a bit blind, it will not affect the overall. You can be in practice adjusting. Find your right place. If you are blind, you will naturally lose everything. 8. Would rather be healthy. There is no need for profit. Because health is capital, the most important thing in everyone's life. There's no public interest, but healthy, you are living well. But if there's fame and gain and loss of health, then you're losing it all. How do you want to live your life? It's up to you. Life is not just about enjoying and wasting. We need to think and choose. You just know you want the only thing. What is most important to me? Then your life will pass by in a meaningful way. 9. As a person, do not be too famous. Ghost, because not everyone is stupid. The world of life, the future of life, is said to be in the enchanted. It's actually very simple. It's only in your own choices. Just see what's in your mind. What's in the mind? I'll be happy with that. To put it simply, it's a mind-generated general. It contains the seeds of hatred. This seed will take root. In your lifeless time, grow the results. Then it will devour tolerance. Thank you, and the bright sun that exists in you. You'll never stop wasting your life. Your precious destiny in the dark, in the heart of envy and intrigue. Tham lam, you are not stepping out of the darkness of your heart. Narrow-minded, wicked, cowardly, selfish self-interest in the narrow self-imposed cloud. God blames the earth. Tying yourself up wastes so much time. The treasure of life have as in the heart contain the bad things of others. You will take the bad things of others in a stupid way, put it in your life, and it doesn't stop hurting itself. In the heart contains the status of money house. Then your life will go on and on. In the physical world, money position house. When all these things come rushing in your desires, it will motivate you to pursue more things. Much more. Even nature is completely mesmerized. Wait until you're at the end of life. Hard labor a lifetime. You can only take 2 empty hands and leave. If, on the contrary, there is goodness in it, sincere tolerance with thanks, you'll notice that in your life it's filled with the sun. You will experience the world of liberation. After you put it down. Raw is so beautiful. Encounter no matter the conflict first of all. You will find your own shortcomings. And then rectify it. All that is not good of others. It's not worth mentioning. Will be broken by your big heart. In the bosom of heaven and earth contain the vast universe. You'll be immersed in the vast universe, then the right and wrong struggles are lost. Men and women usually love of justice. Gain, defeat, disgrace, all of them. It's like a flash play. Just passing in front of you. People who give up something will get it. There is a new discharge. Discharge what you can. It is the unchanging morality in human life. Morality exists in every aspect of life. Like in the garden. If not planted, there are flowers to harvest. For friends and friends. If there is no interest in coming back, then Sao has a connection that understands each other at first glance. It seems to be for people. But in fact, it's for me. You can give others sincere words. Nice words, then you can get it back. Sincere words from others. You can give others a smile. You can get a smiling face back. Go and get it. It has a close relationship with cause and effect. Cause and effect are interrelated. It's the same as the dialectical relationship between wealth and wealth. They can transform and support each other. Who can discharge it must be someone with a big heart. Free, because if a person is inwardly ungrateful, not open to adulation, he will not be willing to give. And he won't be happy either. Comfortable for others to get. If a person's heart is filled with joy, he will be able to bring joy to others. If in the heart of a person contains infinite good thoughts, then he will be able to bring his good thoughts. Go to someone else. So we shouldn't bring our afflictions, sadness transmitted to others. Because whatever you let go of, you get it. This is the inevitability of cause and effect. There's a story that says on a snowstorm night in Texas, there was a young man. Young Chris was in a car and he got stuck in a blizzard. He's very worried. But at the right time there was a man walking by who saw this. Immediately use your horse. Pull the car of crush about a small town. Before the man's work, Chris was very grateful. And take a lot of money out, give this man to show his gratitude. But the man didn't take the money. I will help you without retribution. But I want you to promise me something. When it is difficult to meet others, you have to help them. So in later life, Chris has always helped a lot of people. More after each time helping that he repeated the man's words. I told you many years later Chris is trapped in a sudden flash flood on an island. And was saved by a young man who risked his life. Chris thanked the young man. I can't believe he even said a word. It's the same thing Chris has said countless times. I help you without retribution. But I want you to promise me something. When it is difficult to meet others, you have to help them. Crush felt his chest thud and thought, turns out I gave my love to many people. And finally it came back through this young man. Good things I have done in my life. In the end, it's all for me. If you can let go. It is inevitable, so let go of the bad in your mind. To have a pure spirit. If only in our lives, sentiment is a constraint, then we should let go of the cock. And then we'll get our freedom. The noble compassion. If arrogance is affliction, then we can let go of our complacency, then we'll get some peace. If delusions are unfounded, when you let go of that desire, we will get the true values of life. If worry is suffering, let go of your trouble so that your body and mind are calm. In 42 chapters it is said that face up to the sky and spit. Saliva does not reach the sky but falls on the face. Against the wind tossing dust, the dust doesn't come back to the body. It can be seen in every relationship. In every situation of life. If you understand and remember that if you let go of something, you will get it. Discharge is the root of gain. You will see some amazing and wonderful things. Who can let go of their miserable afflictions, the illusory imagination, then nature will be able to move forward. A new dimension of human life next to different mindset invites you to listen to your inner peace. When we take it lightly, one person at work, you can see the glory as the flower that soon blooms and dies. Can keep the inner peace. No movement, see positions come and go, 7 often like clouds gathering, clouds melting, then you can keep your mind pure. In the book, there is a sign. I don't care more than the truth. In front of the garden the flowers bloom whether you want to leave or stay. Watch the clouds melt away. The sentence is short, but it's engraved with human values and attitudes. For thousands of things. It's not fun. Losing is not a problem. Honor or shame is not terrible. It doesn't matter if you leave or stay. It's possible to do that. I can keep my mind calm and peaceful. Natural transparency at the time of the emperor of the Song dynasty Min Trung Direction was appointed as an exposed official equivalent to the prime minister. Day-down letter of appointment for Man Trung. The emperor told the academician Li Su was surprised that I have been since ascending the throne. Never appointed a sergeant. Today appointed Min Trung to this position. This is not a trivial appointment. Min Trung must be very happy. The surprise answer: I have been in the palace since early this morning. I don't know if I have a letter. I don't understand how the clock is now. The emperor said in the middle of the room. Guests came to celebrate. It must be very crowded. Go to his house to see it. Come back tomorrow and report to me. I shouldn't say it was my intention. I was surprised to see at the silent door there was no shadow. Surprise and direction. Man Trung, he was a close friend for many years. So I'm going straight into the closet. Say congratulations, I heard today about your appointment. The officers are happy. The whole country is welcome. The middle direction is simply noisy. Don't say anything else. Surprised. He said, since the reign of King Kim. Never appointed radiation officer. This is not a trivial appointment. Without God's grace. Your Majesty. How can I give you such a great grace? The middle way still only answers the rules. Not happy, not happy. Surprised to leave the main house. Send someone to the kitchen to ask. There is a party in the city today. To welcome guests or not. People in the kitchen also said it is quiet in the house today. The next day the emperor asked, did you come to see Moon Trung yesterday? Surprised. He replied, I've met him. The emperor asked the mind of Min Trung Ra Sao. I was surprised to report what I saw. The emperor laughed. The middle way, I really don't care about that. I lost my mind thinking nothing of the Lord. From the past to the present, most of the promotion stuff. It's all seen as sand. It makes people happy to celebrate. The middle way is opposite the High Queen. It's completely calm. Maybe it's because in your mind. Not too much sex. So that they may not be bound by fame to reach the world. I don't care more than the truth. Look in front of the garden, flowers bloom, flowers perish, it will leave or stay, watching the sky gather clouds. Modern society today. Many people feel very tired. I can't stand the pressure of life. A lot of people think too. At Sao, society is constantly evolving, but people's burdens are getting heavier. The spirit is increasingly empty. The thought is shallow. You can't have a natural state of calm. In fact, society is constantly evolving. It seems more civilized than before. But maybe the development itself. That have caused people to fall into a quagmire there's no way out. The attraction of money. The power struggle. The sinking of the school makes people care, exhausted of all the disputes that have failed. Being lost makes people happy. Fear when the desired thing is hard to do. Or thinking hard to bring success. Hope is broken into an illusion. They feel lost. Some people are depressed even so. At the cost of my life. When people are bad, running under the fetishism of matter, you will no longer know the difference between good and bad. Right, wrong again. Indeed, what is gained is not compensated for the loss. Regret cannot be undone. The three worlds of human life: see far and see light. Life has three levels. It seems simple but difficult to achieve. That's looking away. See through and take lightly. Only from a distance can one see. Cover and put it all in my chest when I can see through. People can understand things clearly. Human, and it's only when we take it lightly that we can enjoy it. Free and comfortable only if you can see far. To be able to see through, and only when you've seen it through can you take it lightly. A lot when what moves us is not the words. Straight out. It's not because of the intensity of the feeling. It's coming from a serenity that others consider tasteless. There are always thousands of important things in life. Contains both sweetness and bitterness. Human life, it's still very much influenced by the mood. People who have a lot of desire are always tired. Bothered by this and that. People with little desire often live comfortably. Those who can take it lightly are much happier. It is simply the high level of human life. Ancient people have a saying. A person with a level is naturally of high dignity. The highest level of real life. It's natural simplicity. Simplicity in thinking in the soul. Happiness is a kind of feeling. But not all feelings are happiness. Human life, after all, most of them are still in the mood. People who value often suffer. Often despise. People who are attached to something are often fascinated. People who understand normally don't get stuck. In a small town in England, there's a guy, they make a living by singing in the streets. There was a foreign girl in the same neighborhood. He left his family there to work for many years. They often go to a small restaurant for lunch. After many meetings, they became close. One day the foreign girl told the young man that don't sing anymore. Let's do something. I recommend that you go abroad to teach. You can make a lot of money there. More than current work here. The young man was a little surprised at first. Then asked again, maybe my current job. It's not a career. I like this job. It brings me and others joy. What's wrong with that? I don't need to leave my family behind. Leaving the family behind go to a job I don't like. Whether they're old or young. They're surprised. They don't understand. Just to make a little more money. You have to leave your loved ones behind. What is it worth to give up happiness? In their eyes, the family is reunited in peace. That's the happiest. The story is really small. But it's clear. Different views of the girl's life and the young man. As for the young man, simple living with family. Do what you love. It's a kind of happiness. Don't be too happy. Don't be too sad. Life without AI is perfect. There are always ups and downs. Everyone has a good side. And his own flawed side. There are annoyances and things that don't go well. Harassment in the mosaic mind, but time once it's over it's not coming back. So in this rolling physical world, appreciate and accept everything that happens. Good or bad, because we value all the good and the bad. You may not get involved in anything. It's also about underestimating everything. The simpler the mind, the less trouble there is. The simpler life, the happier. Everything that comes should not be too happy. Don't be upset if you lose it. Those who take it lightly will calmly accept it all. Master all the difficulties. It's all about training us to be more resilient. All 7 failures are for us to understand. Give us a lot of experience and know how to look beyond. One who does not experience the torrential rain and wind, I can feel the beauty of the rainbow. I have not tasted 100 lives. Then Sao can understand the truth of human life. Live a little simpler. Will be a little less disturbing and a little more pleasure. Learn how to think. If you live simply, everything will be simple. It's also a dimension of human life. Knowing enough is the way to live. The building of 1,000 nights sleeping is not more than 2 meters of good land. No more than 3 meals. Why do people not know enough? It's hard to find so many things. We know that human desire is infinite. The ancients have a saying. People who don't know enough are like snakes that want to swallow. Even the elephant that can't swallow doesn't want to let go. In life, we can meet a lot of people. Disgraced and beneficial. 7 order they chase a moment without stopping. One thing wants something else. Yes, I want a newer one. It's very obvious. That human desire, it's completely unsatisfying. If a squid forcibly demands, then there will be trouble. People live in pursuit of fame. It is to be happy. It's fun, but a lot of people can't find it. Lost the joy again. My inherent happiness. This is the vicious cycle of human life. Can see that the mind knows enough. How important it is to a person's life. After all, the sleeping tower is not more than 2 meters. There are no more than 3 meals a day. Why do people have to ask for so many things? Money. No matter how much, no matter how high the position, it is finally time for life to die. There's no meaning. The name and benefits bring happiness to people. Some people say, I don't want to risk my life. Really don't need too much material and pleasure, but fame is a sign of success. So letting go is that there is no progress. Can't let it down. There can be no doubt that a good name brings glory to people. Nature has very strong gravity. However, success and fame, they're not necessarily on the same level. A person who is overly interested in fame, it will make the mind no longer calm. It's easy to do a lot of things. From the past to the present, how many people work their whole lives? It's time for glory. Success to fame, I thought that was happiness. But looking back, it turns out happiness is not in that place. People like that are everywhere. Whether they ultimately succeed or fail 7 times. People who know enough will not choose to live that way. They refuse to live their lives in the basket of fame. Because they know they will suffer for the rest of their lives. Fame, though to some extent it will make people happy. But the desire for fame is forever expanding. It can only make people suffer. So the ancients thought it was fun enough. Knowing enough is how to be happy. A person who knows enough in terms of public interest. It may not be as successful as others look at it. But it would be fun to be happy. Knowing enough is the way to keep happiness in your hands. People say that fun is an indispensable element of every person. Into the Ming dynasty there was a poor schoolmaster. But every day they offer incense, thank the blue sky. His wife thought about it without understanding. 3 meals a day are porridge. It can be counted as a blessing. This student replied, living in a place of peace. There is no catastrophic war. That is the greatest happiness. Every day there are clothes to wear and food to eat. Not to the east. Being cold hungry with nothing to eat is the second greatest happiness. There is no disease in you. Disaster is the third greatest happiness. We've got all three of them. It's not a blessing. Many people look at this guy. They often think you don't succeed. But you find yourself happy. Because you know enough in your heart. There's a very good saying that don't cry because you don't have shoes. Because some people don't even have legs to stand on. That's why I said knowing enough. The poor are happy. If you don't know enough. The rich are sad. In the same situation, we just need to change our perspective. To change my mind, then the situation naturally changes. Change in a good direction. Knowing enough to value what is in the present. We shouldn't think we're missing anything. We should think a lot about what we already have. If you don't respect what is currently there, let's leave us alone. How to avoid disaster? It's about taking care of the fate you have. Like life and health, it is everyone's greatest talent. But people often take it for granted. It's too late to be sorry when you're about to die. Gone. So when you fall into the great tribulation, you don't die. It's a serious illness. It will make people feel it. Your happiness is multiplied. On the contrary, not knowing enough, that greed will easily be misguided. Lost. That the disaster should not come at a bad time. There's a lot to take out. If you see this video on a valuable channel of critical thinking, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Stoic Thinking for more meaningful lessons. Thank you for joining us in the critical thinking on the journey towards enlightenment and the art of compassion. See you in the next videos on the Stoic Thinking channel, dear.